What up, everybody? This is Granblue Radio number 386. Um, I called this one Swords for the Sword Lord. Uh, you'll see why in a second.
Yeah.
Are you done? Are you done with Exo already? Or are you?
Finally. Yeah,
Yeah.
yesterday.
Okay, so it took you a little extra time.
Yeah, this one sucked.
So I was gonna talk about that first, actually. So this one introduced two new things, just mechanically. Um, and so I was full autoing 170. I didn't want to do 175 because, well, I just didn't want to. And so this boss introduces two new things for when you fail an omen. And one of them is the Understrike, where it's a new debuff that says if you would attack more than one time in a turn, you instead attack one less. So if you're triple striking, you go down to two. If you're double striking, you go down to one. If you would single attack like a normal character, then you just single attack.
Wait,
Um,
I thought it was you can only. I thought it actually just says you can only attack once per turn.
it's one less, a minimum one.
The later ones don't say that.
Is it not? Let's see here, because the tooltip that I saw was reading
Yeah,
was
it
-1.
175 is you can only attack once.
Ah, interesting. I didn't spend that much time on 175. I did the missions, so I did three different runs of doing the missions,
Hey, they
and
all have the
then
same things. Like, hold on, let me
they do all
look
have
at
the same
170.
text.
Wait,
Let's see.
170 has that. 165 has the one you're talking about.
Okay,
170 and
so it's
175 does not have. Is
so
the you can only attack once.
okay, and they're the other thing that they gave this thing if you fail certain omens is um dispel cancel. Like usually they just hide that stuff behind um, buffs that aren't as like important, or behind buffs that are important but in a different way. But like Exo Sagi legitimately gets to spell cancel if you fail certain omens, and it's just like
Well,
okay,
the 20 it was the 20 skill hits.
yeah, okay, yeah, um, and I talk about this when we do these things about how it's like, all right, look, if it's punishment for an omen, then all right, just make sure that the omen is actually doable, right? If you're actually trying. And so this one falls under that category. However, this is precedent, right? They're experimenting with something in content where it's like, if you think that these debuffs and these buffs are too mean, then there's actually very little stopping you from just going to a lower level and just doing that, right? Like,
Well, there's a caveat where some lower levels doesn't drop the thing you need to uncap though.
yeah, you want 10 of those like uh drops to uncap the wonder.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
actually around the time where they start being mean.
mhm.
Yeah,
And
155 is
yeah,
where it
this
is.
this equestrian lapis. Um, but yeah, so do you think that this is going to be something that they are going to put in soon for when they have the new Revens fight at the end of the month?
Not
Or
entirely sure.
or do you think this is like a specific counter to fire because of the sun? You know, the sun and well, the spell cancel they'll probably put into a bunch of things if it makes sense. But
I mean, you
also,
could just add cancel anything.
yeah, you can also just say that the buff can't be removed. Like a bunch of them just say that if you failed an omen, it's like, oh, this can't be removed.
Oh,
It's just a
just like your debuff cannot be removed in this one.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
Thanks, Lord. This, by the way, this one is not even an omen.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's see.
Can't believe you cancel out to deal triple attack effects.
Yeah. Meanwhile, so
This thing was definitely at a Zeta.
anti-Silva, anti-Zeta, anti-Sun. Ragazzo will be dead by the time any of this happens, so it's not anti-Ragazzo, which I find funny. But anyway, uh, but let's go talk about the actual reward for doing this. And
Well, technically you don't need to do like the higher level parts for this part.
no, not at all. Which is something I like about the Exo design, honestly. So let's talk about Exopelion. Um, so
Great main hand.
great main hand. They heard the allegations about the bow and said, "All right, we're making up for it."
Well, yeah,
So
in order for the bow to be good, there has to be good bows, bow
yeah,
classes, and the one that you don't do skill damage anymore with.
yeah. All right. So here's the Exopelion. The main hand awakenings, as usual. We got normal attack cap, we got cap, and we got might. Sure. Here's the full breakdown of what it does for you as a main hand. So it cares about how many swords that you have in your grid. It always counts itself as the first one. So the
Yep, so
first one,
always have the guarantee 100% crit.
and it's what 100% to do 20% more damage.
Correct.
Okay. The second sword gives you a boost to triple attack rate.
50%.
That's a really big number. The third sword gives you supplement.
30k. Really good.
The fourth sword gives you bonus wind damage.
20%, and it is on passive A. So the things it doesn't stack with, falsehood, Damascus knife, sky piercer, which you don't care about for those ones. Every grand's passive for charm.
Hmm.
No army is passive for crits. Petra's for I think mirror image.
For having mirror image, yeah.
Skaza has for shield,
Hmm.
which just is better than it anyways.
And I think not Narmea's Neons, I think, is also on that one, or is it a separate one?
That's a separate one. That's a buff.
Okay. Oh, got it. All right. And then the last one that you get is a one turn cut to your MC's yellow skill cooldowns. Um, and that fifth one does a lot of work. So, for example, if you want to be a berserker with the Exopelion, the Ulfadin and Beastfang combo normally has a one turn downtime. With
Now it
this,
doesn't.
it has no downtime. You're just always berserk and Beastfanging, which has really good applications in fights where you just don't need your MC to do anything other than hit things and debuff. You know?
Hmm. Other things is that because this is a sword, it has a lot of classes that go under it. One of them is I think Relic Buster is pretty good with this because your skill
Hmm.
1 goes back faster.
Yes, your skill one comes back faster. And you know, the other things play well with Relic Buster, where as sword you okay, so as Relic Buster with sword, you're quote unquote wasting the boosted triple attack, but everything else plays really well with Relic Buster. Um, Also for Glory Bringer, this thing has a really good set of Glory Bringer uh awakenings. What do you call it? Whatever. But anyway, the
Glory
point
Arts.
glory arts. Thank you. But the thing.
So
Yep. Go ahead.
the things it doesn't stack with is Summer Neela, Yukata Neela, and
Hmm.
Siakaro. But everything else, because it's superior element is the
Okay.
main thing.
Yeah. So, um, one of the things that you get from it for doing like awakening blade, I always have to up the one that actually does the active. You attack out of turn with this thing. And given all of the buffs that you can get out of it, that's a really good thing to have on hand. Um,
Resonance is what you're thinking of.
Resonance, thank you. Um, but yeah, the passive for just attacking gives you two hit flurry, which plays really well with supplement, plays really well with chaser. Just does tons of damage, yeah, as your main hand, and yeah, I mean, there's there's a lot of very good things packed into Exopelion, and well, we're gonna see it a lot in the next month.
The let's see here. That one, the fire dagger is really good. The earth dagger is actually really good too.
Yeah, I really like the Earth Dagger. Let's go take a look at all of these.
But this is the second one that has two. That second element that has two. Because the last one was
Yes,
the Earth Dagger.
yes. Where's the exo weapons? There they are. Yeah, the Earth Spear had its day, and then they're like, all right, let's just focus on the main hand part of these things. Kind of like, yeah, the water gun is still considered good, and then the other ones are just sort of waiting for the rerun, and then everybody will have a good main hand, like a great main hand actually. Let's not hide the lead here. This thing's amazing, you know. Um, the thing about it is the question is how people will get 5 swords uh, if they're not farming Seaphon. And the answer, let's see. So we've got the Wind Hose. Wind Hose has been sitting around for a while. Um, we've got the Celestial Sword, which people have had a very long time and multiple Uniting fights to get by now. So, if you don't have one by now, it probably means you're not playing that much. Um, and then one, two, three, four. Four is pretty easy to get to, and then you add in just one more sword. Like Ultima Sword is pretty free, so that's 5. It's not bad. And then you get the higher level, um, like higher firepower things like Evanescence. I almost called Sky Ace a sword. It's not. Not the old wind mix-up is hitting me again. Let's not worry about it. But anyway, yeah.
Scarlet Sword's really good.
hmm And so there are options even if you're playing on a budget. So yeah, I like it. That's all I have to say about it, really. Swords for the sword god.
Yay, swords. The easiest thing you could design.
Yeah. The question is, do you think Ariette's gonna pick up her sword? You've seen her
No,
Shadowverse version. No, she's not.
no. If they do, well, first they need this character to have a story.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. So anyway, that's it. That's all we got for this week. Next week we have a maintenance, and that one will have rebalances. It'll have the new event. So yeah, we'll be talking about that one next week.
Until
Till
then,
then,
good luck getting your swords.
yeah. Although I didn't actually bother with luck this time around. I just bought the whole thing and declared it done.
I had to buy all the thing. I finished my grind and I got 0.
Yeah, I finished my grind and went, oh well, I guess I'll just buy the whole thing. It was easy enough. I actually had to go back to finish unlocking the last Covenant thing. I didn't have to. I just decided I was going to. I was like, I finished before I actually unlocked every single node. I was like, we'll see what happens for the third time around. But anyway, that's it for this week. Um, and then so 2 weeks from now I'll be in New Zealand, and I definitely will not be running that one. So in 2 weeks we're taking a break. In 3 weeks we'll be back.